Here at Trakin Tech English, I've tested One UI 7, HyperOS 2, FunTouchOS 15, ColorOS 15, OxygenOS 15, Nothing UI 3.1, Hello UI, heck even Android 15 and iOS 18. But for some odd reason, Infinix's XOS has always flown under my radar. And I've realized that I've definitely made a mistake because I was testing the Infinix Note 50s, which has launched recently, and I tried out XOS 15 on it, and boy oh boy oh boy, XOS 15 is actually a great Android skin for budget and mid-range phones. So let me tell you all that you need to know about XOS 15, why I like it, and how the experience is on the Note 50s, and also a little bit about the phone as well. Alright, if you're here for the first time, I'm Ershad. This is Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. First up, let me show you all the design changes, the customization options, and the animations that are available in XOS 15. So firstly, the icons for first-party apps like Settings, Dialer, AI Gallery, and Camera have been upgraded to look more premium now. Additionally, with XOS 15, you can now customize the app icons on the home screen. Just long press and you will see icon style. With this option, you can pick your preferred colors for the icon or opt for it to follow a system-wide color scheme. Not just that, you can even adjust the icon size. All of this is very detailed and elaborate, and I kind of like it. Next up, let's talk about the animations, and boy oh boy, they're actually flagship grade on a phone that is under 20,000 rupees like the Note 50s. Just take a look at the animation side by side with XOS 14. App opening and closing animations, app drawer animation, quick setting animations, recent tabs, everything is faster and fluider now. Even the quick settings layout and design has been completely refreshed. Now it's a much more modern and clean look where you get a bunch of rounded icons and pill-shaped functions. All of these are also grouped together really nicely for you to be able to access each one of them easily. Not just that, you can have a bunch of options added to your quick settings, and you can have like a really long list as well, and it sort of creates a scroll down. And the overall transparent look is also something I appreciate. Now, it would have been nicer if Infinix gave you the option to change around a few of the functions in the larger boxes where you could have the customization option as well. Hopefully that will come in the future. Not just the quick settings though, even the notification shade now looks much cleaner, and it's very well organized as well when the notifications come in. The settings page also has new icons and it looks clean. There's a new rounded font used in the overall UI, but if you don't like it, you can choose from 25 different font styles. Now, when you swipe right from the home screen, you open up the shelf, and the shelf has a bunch of app suggestions which don't recommend any unwanted apps, which is good. And there's also a box for the tips with an automatic scroll that happens, which is very nicely done. Plus, there are some really neat animations in the health widget as well. All of these are very nicely done. Plus, you can also add your own widgets if you want to. Now, of course, you also get that iOS-inspired dynamic bar, which was introduced with XOS 14, but at that time, it only had 4 functions that were possible. Basically, you could see the charging status, it would activate in face unlock, you could see calls and the recorder. But now it's got a few more functions added, which is damn nice. Basically, it has support for Google Maps, hotspot, screen recorders, stopwatch, and a few more. I feel like if you're using an Infinix phone currently that supports XOS 15, then you should definitely give your suggestions to Infinix as to what you want added to dynamic bar, and they maybe will activate that for you. In XOS 15, more wallpapers and wallpaper styles have also been added. For example, you get the static wallpaper, you get a live wallpaper, but you also get Vogue portraits, Mondrian, and color art. In fact, there's an option called Custom One Take, with which you can convert any picture from your gallery into a unique looking wallpaper. You can also generate wallpapers using AI, which is nice. One really awesome thing on XOS 15 is that you can choose any app as a lock screen shortcut. Many operating systems don't give you that, which is very good. By the way, a quick break in programming to let you know that we actually love doing these videos, and if you like the kind of content that we make, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever we put out an awesome new tech video. Your support is very important to us. And you know what? It's not just about customizations and animations. XOS 15 has some really interesting features that I feel like some other brands should also port into their UIs. Of course, you do get the standard features like floating windows, split screen, and Xclone, which is basically app cloning. But there are some unique features in XOS like peek proof, which creates a resizable window where you can see things only through the highlighted window, and the other content outside the window is blacked out. Even the mobile anti-theft option on XOS 15 has features like unlock capture and theft alert that kind of stand out. Now, XOS 15 is also fantastic for gamers because the game mode has really cool features. For example, there are 3 different power modes which you can pick from. Not just that, it has features like bypass charging, which gets automatically enabled during gaming, streaming, or when the temperature increases. There's also anti-interference, which mutes all the notifications, which is damn nice. You also get notification customization options and a magic button, which essentially lets you convert the volume buttons into triggers. You also get something called Social Assistant, in which you get call summarization and a bi-directional translator. So as the name suggests, call summarization essentially generates summaries of your calls and adds it to your notepad after the call, which is useful. And with bi-directional translator, you basically get translation during calls itself. Heck, XOS lets you change your voice during the call. It lets you add fill light for video calls, and you can also use a dual view so that you can enable access to both the front and the rear camera during video calls. There's also a smart panel, which is basically like a customizable sidebar where you can have your apps of your choice and a few different other features as well. And you know what? XOS even has a PC connection feature, which enables basic interconnectivity between your phone and your Windows PC to allow for transfer of files, mirroring screen, and to share the clipboard as well. Think of a feature that you want in your phone right now, and XOS probably already has it. It's very feature rich. AI is obviously a huge focus with a lot of brands, and that's true even for Infinix with XOS 15, and they call their AI one tap Infinix AI. And of course, there are a bunch of interesting features. Let me, show you some. The Notes app includes a sketch to image feature. It basically converts your doodles into a similar artwork. And the interesting thing is there is something called Folax AI, which is basically Infinix's very own AI assistant that has been added, and it has sort of on-screen awareness. So if you open the Notes app and if you draw something, you can trigger that by long pressing the power button, and it will then describe the image that's on your screen when you ask it. You've also got a writing assistant, and it can be accessed almost anywhere in the operating system. With this, you can summarize, you can proofread, you can rewrite, or even expand paragraphs in different styles. Recording summary is also present, which basically transcribes and summarizes any voice recording. Of course, there's AI in the Gallery app as well. It's called AI Gallery. So obviously it has got AI in it. So the first thing that you get is AI cutout, which basically cuts out subjects from any image. You've also got an AI eraser, which is of course useful for removing unwanted objects from the image. So these are the two AI features that are there within the gallery, but within the camera app, there's something called AI GC Portrait. It's a very interesting, unique, kind of quirky feature. Essentially what you do is you take a portrait photo of somebody, and it's got 4 different portrait styles. It's called lifestyle, love, graduation, and childhood. The names are pretty indicative of what they will probably do, but just take a look at the images I generated of Arnav, and this is exactly what the AI thinks the AI generated image of Arnav should be if he's in love. Of course, Infinix's Folax AI is also present. I want to know if any Infinix user actually uses Folax AI. I'm very curious to know that, but that has also seen some changes. Now, the animation now looks cool, and it can do more things than before. You can ask it to convert an image to a doc, ask it to summarize or create a Q&A from a document, ask it to describe an image, and all of that is possible. So XOS 15 has definitely made a long changes compared to its predecessor, and it has improved a lot, and it looks very modern too. Now, I know that a lot of features seem inspired from other UIs, but if all of that effort gives you a great user experience, especially in the budget and mid-range, then I'll take it. And you know what? All of the brand's efforts started with when they said that, okay, fine, they're not going to add any bloatware to their user experience on Infinix phones, which is damn good, which is also true for the Note 50s as well. And now on top of that, you get very well-tuned animations, a plethora of useful features, and of course, AI for those who care about it. What I like is that at least Infinix has been working towards making its XOS experience feel, look, and function more modern, something that FunTouch OS 15 hasn't been able to do for a while now. Alright, now time to talk about the hardware itself, the Note 50s. I'm just going to run through it. It's not like a detailed review or anything, but what I can tell you is that it's a very slim phone, just 7.6 millimeters, and it's curved all around, even the wiggle at the back and of course the display on the front. And if you look at it, the Note 50s also has this very interesting gem cut camera module design. It also has a large 6.78-inch Full HD plus 144Hz curved AMOLED display, which is coupled with JBL tuned dual stereo speakers. So the multimedia experience is kind of nice, and the stereo speakers also sound good. Plus you also get IP64 rating, military standard 8108 certification, and Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection, all for a price of, about 15,000-16,000 rupees. So it's pretty awesome. And even if I do this, Nothing will happen to it. Now for cameras, you get a primary camera, which is the Sony IMX682 sensor. It's a 64 megapixel camera. It's been a while since I saw a 64 megapixel camera. And you get a 2 megapixel macro camera and 13 megapixel camera for selfies. Now I haven't tested the cameras in detail, but you can take a look at a few shots. They look decent, nothing like wow or anything. As for the battery, you get a 5500 mAh battery inside with a 45-watt charger inside the box. Now as for the processor, you get a MediaTek Dimensity 7300 inside, and it is of course a known beast. We are all aware of how that performs. You've also got two variants of the phone, basically 8 128GB and 8 256GB, and this is LPDDR5X RAM type and UFS 2.2 storage. Now these are almost kind of standard specs that we've seen on many other phones before, so the Antutu score should be somewhere in the range of 6.7 to 6.8 lakhs. We also ran the CPU throttle test that we generally do, 40 threads for 30 minutes, and we got about 84% CPU stability, which is actually pretty decent. And if you want to game on this, it's possible. You can play COD Mobile at 90 FPS and BGMI at 60 FPS. Yes, this chip can support 90 FPS. Maybe that support will come in a later update. By the way, I know that a lot of people will be worried about the fact that, there might be some missed touches that happens on a curved screen when gaming. Well, there's an added missed touch protection capability that Infinix has added onto the software itself when you switch on the game mode. And of course, I've spoken about XOS 15 at length, but one thing I didn't tell you is that on the Note 50s, you get 2 + 3 years of software promise from the brand, which means that XOS 17 based on Android 17 is mostly confirmed. So yeah, as for the Infinix Note 50s, it definitely has good hardware, especially considering its asking price of 15,000 rupees post discounts. But more importantly, XOS 15 is what took me by complete surprise. I didn't expect it to be this good. And I feel like it can definitely stand right up there with the giants in terms of software experience, especially when you're looking at phones under 20,000 rupees. It is pretty good. It is well tuned. So what do you guys think of XOS 15 and the Infinix Note 50s? And do also let me know if you guys want like a detailed review or a comparison of this phone against any other phone. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.